Paris-Brest Paris is actually 3 rides in one. The majority of those taking part do the one that's 90 hours long. That's called the Touriste group. For the first 12 hours you're going to be going about this pace, so you're not going to have much time for sightseeing. The first section of 200 kilometres or so to Belém go past in something of a blur. The riders don't actually take much notice of anything but themselves. They're completely focused on building up a cushion of time to enable them to sleep later on. It's actually a very unforgiving formula. And surprisingly, lots of people keep coming back.
How are you anyway?
Fine.
I can remember riding with you many years ago.
That's
on
right.
this.
Well, I haven't done so much riding recently.
No, I mean neither.
I set off extremely fast.
It was fun, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant fun.
How many trains did you catch?
I was interrailing.
There's something deeply satisfying in being part of this stampede.
I was third behind the bikes when we set off, and then I did that for the first 50k, and then it was train after train. It was superb. Italian train, Norwegian train, it was superb.
Oh, the Norwegian.
The start of PBP is like the first days at a new school. You make new friends largely by accident. You might spend the next 3.5 days with someone simply because these traffic lights were on red. Others already know who they'll be spending their time with.
This is not far back.
Oh, fair enough. She's there, you're not far back, she's on your wheel.
That's not far back.
How's it going, Tracy?
Fine. So far.
So far, so good.
There are big advantages to being in a group, and that's why they form. But there are definite sections in the first part of the ride where it pays to be on your own. One of those is the Côte de Gambé. This is what it looks like when you're on your own. And this is what it looks like among the fastest group of riders. It's entirely possible to be in a group of like 50 here. I'm very heavy and I like descending. And there's a certain satisfaction in seeing the numbers on the speedo mount up. And freewheeling past other riders. At the bottom of the Côte de Gambé there's the village of Gambésis. Simply by not braking I came into Gambésis at nearly twice the speed limit. Which is why there were 3 successive speed humps. If anything's going to drop off your bike, it'll drop off here. That marks the end of the really dangerous bit of the start, and it's an ideal place to photograph the survivors.
And then the people cheering, and you know, there were people stood out by the road at 3 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lovely evening for it. What's the weather forecast, do you know, for the
Like this?
rest of the couple of days, is it?
Yeah, largely.
I've ridden Paris-Brest Paris 4 times. For the first 3 of those times we started in the dark. And we started on Monday rather than Sunday. The new starts give us some daylight riding on the first night, which makes things a bit safer, I think. The earliest start time started in 2011. The big change this time were the pre-booked lettered starts. The alphabetic prefix on the numbers tells you when people started,
Hey, Dan Driscoll!
so you could immediately tell who was slower than you and who was faster.
Hello.
Hello, are you Damon Peacock?
I am.
I've seen some of the stuff you've been posting on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, you like
Really
it?
nice.
You like it, dear?
I was a H. Anybody higher than L, I let go. We did actually go through some quite nice towns. I've been meaning to go back and explore places like Nogent-le-Roi since 1999. I used to wonder where all those nice half-timbered houses were. Now I can definitely say Nogent-le-Roi. There's time to catch up with friends old and new.
How you doing?
Hey, my man! How are you?
I'm well. I'm well.
Are you
all right.
practicing on selfies, big man?
Huh? Hello.
David, we're not used to you riding.
I am.
We're going to show up now. I'm in San Diego.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a beautiful weather, lots of hills, and the home of Elliptigo.
So, how are you finding it?
Well, I'm going to stop at Mauritania and then transfer to motorbike.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can do some
Filming.
proper filming.
Yeah, proper filming.
Okay.
What makes Paris very special are the nights. They're usually pretty lonely affairs in this type of cycling.
This is Bristol and it's an head jog. Head jog? An head jog. When I got up on Wednesday morning, my partner had left a little message, please may I come too. This is the first thing I ever bought my partner. £6 it cost me. The shirt's a bit too big for him though. He's loving it.
It's your first time, this is it?
This is my first time.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
I'm really enjoying it. I'm getting a real buzz out of it.
We've now entered a world where things are done very differently.
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Vous êtes français?
No, anglais?
Pardon?
Anglais?
English?
Oui.
Oh, I'm English too.
Oh, okay.
That's not a problem then, is it?
Aha! That's too funny. I'm actually American, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Where are you from then?
Nebraska.
Oh,
At the moment, I did not get this closed right.
Nebraska. I know very little about Nebraska. I think it's flat.
It's fairly flat. It's more hilly than you might think. It's more hilly than Kansas.
Yeah.
Farming country, lots of corn, and
It's named from an album by Bruce Springsteen.
there we go. That should be my fact.
Which part?
South.
Where's that?
South. Porto Alegre.
Oh, south.
I think I started with my fastest ever 200 and my fastest ever 300.
Yeah.
L'Oignon Perche marks the end of the first flat bit. It all gets a bit up and down for a while now. It's around this point that it all becomes a bit of a dream, really. It starts to become difficult to separate the real from the imagined. These lights were just real,
Oh, I like it.
in a surreal sort of way.
Ah, c'est une selfie caméra.
Everyone who qualifies for PBP will have ridden through at least one night. Everyone doing PBP will ride through at least 2 nights. Many will ride through 4 nights. Doing that with next to no sleep is a big ask. One way to cope is to reset after the first night.
It's 3, if you ignore the first one. You just ride through that one. Well, we did anyway. You know, I mean, it depends on your foot.
I did.